This is on applications of decimals and fractions. Every time you guys hear the word application, you start like breaking out in a cold sweat. Don't worry about it. We're going to do several examples, and you're going to be like, yay, this isn't so bad after all. Okay, so we're going to keep these steps in mind. Understand the problems, and if you read the problem a couple of times, it kind of brings your level of anxiety down. So drawing a picture also helps. Looking for key words helps. And then we're going to try to translate the problem and solve it using operations. And then interpret the results and label the answer with correct units. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to also think, well, does this answer make sense? Okay, so if you number of pieces of paper you're going to use a day. If you get 570, probably not. If you're going to do personally. So let's do the first one, decimal applications. Philip bought a video for $38.96. He paid with two $20 bills. What was his change? So we need to figure out what the change is. So he paid with two $20 bills. So first, we're going to figure out that he gave the cashier two $20 bills. So he really gave the cashier 40 bucks. Okay, and now he needs change. So I'm going to subtract 40, take away what he is purchasing the video for. So 40, take away $38.96. So we can do it the old-fashioned way. So we have 4 cents, 9 take away 9 is that, and then 9 take away 8 is $1.04. Or we could think of it as counting up. I have $38.96, and we can count up to 40. Let's see if we can do that. That's kind of cool. And we want to get it to equal 40, and that's going to be our change. So to get 96 up to the next dollar, that would be 4 cents, right? And then we would be at $39, right? So we only need one more dollar to get up to $40. So $1.04, which is faster actually than doing the physical subtraction. So $1.04 would be the change. That way, if you label it the change of $1.04, it's going to help you kind of jog what you had to do to begin with. So 1 week in March, in the town of Clearfield, it rained 2.43 inches on Monday, and 1.81 inches on Thursday, and 1.01 inches on Friday. It didn't rain at all the other days of the week. What was the total rainfall for the week? So we need to add these up. And notice how I lined up my decimal points, and now I'm going to add them. So when I do that, I will get 5 on the end. 4 and 8 is 12. Carry the 1. So 5.25 inches of rain for the week, which is a lot. Okay, number 3. The nutrition chart on a bag of flavored cheese puffs says each serving contains 0.25 grams of sodium. The chart also says are 5 servings in the bag. How many grams of sodium are there in the entire bag? So I could add 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, or I could just multiply 5 servings times 0.25 grams of sodium. So when I do that, I will get 1.25 grams of sodium. Okay, Andrea buys $28.58 worth of gasoline for her truck. If the gas station charges 1.429 per gallon, how many gallons did she get? So I'm going to divide this, okay, because I have a total amount of money and I have to divide out how much money per gallon. Okay, so here we go. So it's $28.58 divided by 1.429. So when I do that, I'm going to use a calculator to do it. And we wish that gas cost that much. And that would be 20 gallons. Which is reasonable. You can put 20 gallons in a tank. She probably has a bigger car. Okay, next. Now we're going to do fraction applications. So decimal applications, you're like, yeah, this isn't bad at all. I got it. And then the minute you see the word fraction, you're like, ooh, but don't worry, we can do it. A recipe for cookies calls for 2 3/4 cups of butter. If you're only making half a batch, how much butter would you need? Well, we're cutting it in half. So if I said 2 cups of butter, you'd go, oh, well, I only need 1, correct? But the minute you do the 3/4, you're like, oh, no. So really what I need to do is 2 3/4 times 1/2, which is the same thing as dividing by 2, you guys. So if you think, well, isn't it dividing by 2? Yes, but when you're dividing fractions, you're multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to change mixed to improper. This will be 11/4 times 1/2. So if we multiply across, we get 11/8. Now that means nothing to me in cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to a mixed number. 8 goes into 11 once with 3 left over. Now, you could do it this way. Half of the 2 is 1. Half of 3/4 is 3/8, right? So cool. You could do them individually if you want, or you can do it this way. 2 ways to do it. Okay, so let's look at this one. A wall in Carla's garden is built using bricks 2 7/8 inches wide and mortar joints that are 3/4 inch wide. Use the diagram to find the height of the wall. So here's the deal here. I have these bricks. How many bricks tall is it? It's 2 7/8 times 5. Those are for the bricks. Yes, indeed. And then for the joints, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the joints, I have 3/4 times 4, which is easy to multiply. I'll get 3 inches. Or I could actually do 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4, which is 12/4, or 3 inches. So you can do it either way. If you're unsure about multiplying, you could just add it repeatedly because there's already a common denominator. So now let's do the bricks. So we're going to do 2 7/8 times 5. So we're going to convert that 2 7/8 to a mixed, from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So that is going to be 2 times 8 is 16 plus 7 is 23/8 times 5. And 23 times 5 is 115 over 8. Now if we convert that, 8 goes into 115, 14, and 3/8 left over. So now I just have to add these two together for the bricks. and the joints. So I'll get 17 3/8 inches. Yay! Okay. Next, on a recent trip, Asha drove 305 miles on 10 6 gallons of gas. Calculate how many miles per gallon she gets in her vehicle. So I'm going to divide 305 divided by 10 1/6 gallons, because I have a ton of miles, divided by 10 1/6 gallons. So I'm going to get miles per gallon. So let's go for it. So when I do division, it's 305 divided by, change this to an improper, 61/6. So it's 305 times 6/61. Okay, so 61 goes into 61 once, 61 goes into 305 5 times. So Asha's getting 30 miles per gallon. Okay, so the deal here is 305 miles, 10 6 gallons. So when I go to divide them, it's going to be miles per gallon or miles per 1 gallon. Cool? All right. Number 8. How many 3-ounce doses are available in a 12-ounce container of medicine? So I'm going to divide again. 12 ounces divided by 3/4. Let's take a look at that. It's 12 times 4/3, right? 3 goes into 3 once, 3 into 12. 4 times 4 is 16 doses. Good? Yay, 16 doses. And we expect it to be more than 12 ounce. It's a 12-ounce bottle, but because I'm not using a whole ounce each time, I'm going to get more doses out of it. Now, for the last page here, I just want you to relax and try and succeed in doing the apps. And I don't mean apps on your phone. Yay! Good luck.